Hey guys, it's the Gim from THC Digest. In this week's video, I'm basically just talking about the harvest I just did. Um, as I said, I was gonna do it this week because I found a seed last week in my plant, and rather than wait for the seeds, if there's a male, if my plant is starting to hermy on me, then I want to take it down before the seeds, take over my plant. Because seeds are a pain if you want to actually use your stuff. So I want to show you guys some pictures, and so you can just see my plant in its entirety. Some of the pictures are pretty funny. Um, the way the plant grew against the light. I mean, it's got like a flat top, but I'll show you later. But first, I'll just start, with taking it down and all that. So here's what it looked like right before we cut it down. You can see it's a jungly mess. Um, it looks pretty ugly from outside. And I mean, it does look a little better when you get close up, but not much better. Um, it's an ugly beast. So so I would say these are probably about average buds from this plant. But you can see that they still have like white hairs mixed in with amber hairs. Now, before your trichomes even start to really get developed, all the hairs will turn amber, and these hairs aren't even all amber. So this is definitely underdeveloped. But I have used some of the product, and I am still able to get a pretty good high. It just takes a little bit more, and it doesn't last quite as long. So that's really the biggest effect. And here's another branch. You can see there's not really any dense bud growth, which isn't really a problem for potency, but it just makes it a lot harder to actually use. It means you're going to be taking out stems and all that, whereas if you have a dense bud, you don't have to worry about all that because everything you put in there is going to be good stuff. So this picture right here, you can see this is where the tops were actually touching the light. You can see they got scorched big time. They're fried out. Um, but right underneath, you can't really tell from this picture, unfortunately. But underneath, I would say 2 to 3 inches. Under here is probably where the densest buds were. So the top, even though it was burnt out, the stuff underneath didn't seem to be affected, and a lot of it actually seemed to thrive right below it. So I was suspecting that the tops that got burnt would act like a heat shield almost for the stuff beneath it, and it appears that it kind of did. So I mean that's good. In this picture, you can see this is like one of the main stalks that was going up the middle. And where all these nods are, that's where I did a bend during the grow. And you can see after I bent it, it has a tendency to grow upward. And it would just keep doing that. I was trying to bend it, like at a 90-degree angle to get it to go sideways, but it doesn't take long for the plant to correct itself and start growing upward again. Especially if it's really growing a lot, and that's what this plant was doing. So every time I'd do a bend, it would take about a day for it to be almost upright again. So it was sort of like a futile exercise. In this picture, this was the um, 4 boxes of stuff that we had after it was all cut down. We hadn't trimmed it yet, but this was the whole plant after it was completely cut down. And and then after we trimmed it all, here's what it looks like when it was up hanging and drying. And there's 3 strings of stuff in there. Last grow when I had 8.5 ounces, we actually had 4 strings. So if you just went by that measurement, then this is probably going to be about 6 ounces, but it's going to be less than that even. I still think probably around 3 or 4 ounces, but I'm not sure yet. So I should know pretty soon. We're still waiting for some drying, and then once it's all dried out, we can weigh it, and I can give you a full total yield. So that's it for this week. Next week is going to be focused on. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about curing and just talking about my thoughts on the grow overall, and what sort of things I want to improve upon next grow. As I said, I'll be doing a new grow probably in a few months after I have to wait till I move, and then I'm going to start a new one. But in between that, I'm going to try to do at least one video a week, where I'm just talking about growing in general or THC Digest, and other topics related to marijuana. So I will be talking about growing, but I'm also going to be talking about other marijuana related topics. So look forward to that. And then if you want to see more pictures in HD, because I don't think these pictures look that good in the YouTube video, but I do try to at least show what I'm talking about. But if you want better pictures, then I have links down below. You can go to like Facebook or Pinterest, and I put HD pictures up there, so you can see more of what I'm talking about on there. So until then, I'll see you guys next week.